Welcome on in, guys. Tobin here with you, and thanks for checking out the channel, Heat Nation. If you guys could subscribe, that'd be great. Appreciate you guys stopping by. I appreciate you guys sticking around with the aesthetics. Not looking the best right now. Those will be improved. We're doing some modifications to the old Tobe studio. So I appreciate you guys stopping by. I want to get to this over the weekend, but kind of took a weekend off from YouTube, and after the Dolphins were off, didn't have to do any pregame. Figured I'd just take a break from yakking for a little bit, especially on the Miami Heat. Got a lot of Miami Heat stuff coming up, though. But I did see some things that I did want to comment on from the weekend that were circulating, and they surrounded Jimmy Butler. And Jimmy Butler, who, happy birthday to Jimmy, he turned 35 this weekend. There were a couple of trade rumors that were floating out there regarding Jim VP this past week. One of them ridiculous. One of them I would be slightly concerned about. And I'm not doing that off just reporting. I'm doing that just off of feel. The first one is a rumor that It's something we've already discussed, because it's already been reported that the Nets and Jimmy Butler might have mutual interest in each other in the offseason. They have cap space. Their team is probably going to really, really stink. They're, going to, probably poop the bed here. They traded Mikal Bridges. They got nothing. But it is still New York. They do have an owner who has landed big whales before. I'd imagine this is not something they want to go completely in the dumps for. They really haven't done that. Even the years you thought they were going to be really bad, their young guys have kind of come through, and they've been pretty decent. And then, they had the KD thing, the whole spiel. We don't have to go down the road of the Nets history. But it wasn't so much that they reported that Jimmy Butler was interested in the Nets. What they did report was that it had to do with Ben Simmons. Dangerously, because Ben Simmons, it was said that Jimmy Butler's agent, Bernie Lee, who also represents Ben Simmons, it's said that he has really appreciated how the Nets have treated Ben Simmons. Ergo, that would open up some bridges into him being open to getting Jimmy Butler to the Brooklyn Nets. But it's been funny because the reports have made it look like Jimmy Butler, when you look at like social media, it looks like Jimmy Butler wants to go play with Ben Simmons, which is hilarious going back to the Philadelphia time, because, it was said that wasn't the greatest relationship there, even though a lot of that wasn't like Jimmy Ben directly related. A lot of that was franchise coaching, how things were run there, all that type of stuff. But certainly Jimmy's strong relationship with Philly was definitely Joel Embiid, more so than it was Ben Simmons. It was just funny to read a lot of that stuff being like, that's the reason. So they go in there and they're trying to say, this reporter, I'm trying to remember the guy's name. I think it was from like Nets United or some blog that had put it out there, that they had said that because Jimmy Butler's agent appreciates how Ben Simmons has been treated, that he would be interested in luring Jimmy to the Nets. Yeah, this is from Nets Daily, and his quote was, "Jimmy's interest in the Brooklyn Nets is very, very real. Part of it is New York, and part of it is his agent, who has been Simmons' agent, and has been very happy with how his client has been dealt with by the Nets." Which I don't. What does that mean? The checks cash? Like they're not trying to get a rebate. They're not trying to get a refund. Like what? So good. I'm glad that things seem to be going well with Ben Simmons and the Nets and all of that. Is it out of the realm of possibility that Bernie Lee would be looking to New York? No, we know Jimmy Butler likes New York. Also, they have cap space, and if his job as an agent, then if they're one of the few destinations that could really sign him outright, seems like a pretty obvious place. But we all look and say, hey, that we all saw when this rumor first came out. We're like, hey, that's kind of a weird one. That's kind of a weird one, but it's going to be interesting to know. Like, one of the things that has changed since Jimmy Butler came to the Miami Heat, and you can never really account for this stuff. This is the same thing with LeBron James and Chris Bosh, right? When the Heat got LeBron James, it was never in the Heat's mind, oh, LeBron's going to leave. That's why they gave him a 4-year deal with a 6-year deal with an option after 4, because they figured he ain't going anywhere. That's why they willy-nilly gave away their picks. Were they drunk in the moment? Was it a stupid thing to do? Yeah, but you also aren't thinking about it because you're like, we're getting LeBron James and Chris Bosh. What are we talking about here? So you do it 10 times out of 10, but you also never thought there's any way in the world things are going to change. You think in the moment this is going to last forever. This is going to be his final destination. LeBron's going to be winning rings for the Heat forever. And then things change. Some dynamic changes, whatever it is. He has to get out of the city. The family doesn't like it as much. Whatever, dude. Whatever those dynamics are, things can change. And I do think that the thing that has changed with Jimmy, and there's nothing wrong with it because he's a professional athlete, the money in the NBA has gotten bananas. Okay? When Jimmy Butler came to there was still incredible money. But like when you see these guys are making $60-70 million a year, and you're a Jimmy Butler, and we had heard things with Jimmy Butler like, Jimmy Butler, is he going to play past 35 that much? 35, he might go on and he might do something else. He wants to go live his life. He wants to go make country albums. But what in the world are you going to get that kind of a paycheck to be anything? And so it makes you rethink things, right? It makes you rethink. Maybe I'll stick it out till I'm 39 and make whatever. It's a new wrinkle on things. So, and it's also probably something the Heat had thought like, we got to ride Jimmy Butler up until he's 30. Nah, he's not going to play that long when they first do this marriage together. So I don't necessarily believe it has anything to do with Ben Simmons and how he's been treated. I think what makes sense is likes the location. They can have money. But as I told you in my last, I'm like, look, you're going to have to deal with this as a Heat fan because Jimmy Butler's flirtation for other cities is going to be a thing. People are going to kind of roll out the red carpet, and we're going to see what this year brings. We're going to see where his relationship is with the organization. How does he handle things? How does he play out this year? All that stuff is going to be is going to be an interesting one. The other one that got thrown out there that I'm actually a little bit more scared of, right, is the Warriors. And as I've said freely on this channel and on my radio, I'm very jealous of the Warriors. The Warriors, they've always just felt like they've gotten one leg up on the Heat over this era, right? They got Durant when the Heat were trying to get Durant. They got that extra ring. Kerr's got twice as many rings as Spo as a head coach. They got that extra ring. They got over the hump. They got the Celtics that one year where the Heat, they had to take on LeBron and AD. The Heat had to take on Nikola Jokic at the peak of his powers. They got to take on two dudes who couldn't dribble and somehow got Andrew Wiggins to play like a supernova and Jordan Poole before he got punched in the face, being a legit 6 Man of the Year candidate. Been very jealous of the Warriors. I can say it. I can say it judgment free. Steph Curry, he's a delight to watch. Who doesn't like Steph Curry? But man, and if there was one guy I would love the Heat to ever poach if he were to ever leave his organization, you could bet your ass it would be I would want Steph Curry on the Miami Heat. So when I saw rumors and whispers and fodder that Jimmy Butler is a potential target of the Golden State Warriors, I did not like that. The Warriors, this was from Sam Amick, saying that the Golden State Warriors are interested in Jimmy Butler, per Sam Amick from The Athletic, saying Jimmy Butler is going to be a free agent next summer. Didn't get an extension done. The Warriors have interest there and probably will make a couple calls to the Miami Heat this summer. And that to me would be really, really scary. I would be I would be really, really like bothered if Jimmy Butler ended up with Steph Curry. And there's another, like, I'm not against Jimmy Butler ending up. It's not that I like wish ill on Jimmy Butler, but like if he's going to go to all the places, he's going to end up there. Like that's the team that's going to pay him. And it makes sense. Like, look, they got to figure out who to put next to the guy, right? Like they were kind of snooping around the Larry Markkinen thing. They're going to try and find another superstar to put next to him. And basketball fit wise makes sense. You know, they're trying to speed up the process because of the age that Steph Curry's at too. Dude, that one worries me a little bit. And even if you told me like, hey, the Heat are, I think one of the trades today that was put out there was like, the Heat will grab Kuminga, you know, they'll grab some real pieces. You know, obviously in a situation like that, like you're going to want to get something for Jimmy Butler. And most of the situations with Jimmy Butler getting the contract that he wants, the Heat it's unlikely the Heat end up empty-handed for Jimmy Butler, other than if he were to go to the Nets, who could sign him outright. But that's an interesting one because it's like, all right, if Jimmy wants to go somewhere, we know he likes the West Coast. He is San Diego. You know, he likes those coastal cities. Not that, you know, San Francisco and San Diego are close, but, you know, it's not across the country that he'd have to fly. That one to me would be like, ugh. So let me get this straight. These mother bleepers, they get twice the amount of rings over this generation of basketball. They got their GOAT, Steph Curry, and that cherry on top ring. Now they're getting him, Jimmy Butler. You know, when the Heat, all we wanted was the Heat to get Jimmy Butler, his star, to get the cherry on top and get it over the top. That one would like severely bother me. You know, like if Jimmy Butler left for the bag, I think I could deal with that. I could level with that. It'd be like, you know what? Can I hate on the Heat for not paying Jimmy Butler $180 million extension? Listen, I told you guys to sign him for an extra 60. You guys didn't listen. Could I hate on them for not giving him that crazy 4-year deal after this year? I could understand it, especially if the year doesn't go great and it's not prudent and you're ready to go in another direction. I could live with that. I could live with Jimmy Butler leaving for the bag. Could I live with him going to the Warriors to team up with Steph Curry? That would really, really bother me. That would, and I don't even think that's going to win I don't even know if that's going to win a championship. They both seem just a little bit too over that, but just the idea of it, that would bother me. I do not care for the idea of this. It has bothered me since I saw the rumor, and it's quite frankly upset me. I'm like, I don't like this. I don't like where this is at. I'm not a fan of this. And I want all of this stuff. I want the odds of Jimmy Butler getting traded. I want it all to go away. I'm sick of it, dude.